it's time to do our main lesson book work. You may have noticed this week that in your things in your folder, you have one of these green pieces of kind of cardstock that has these strips cut out of this. What on earth is this for? I want to use this to try and get nice even lines across our paper, and I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. The first thing I want to do is I want you guys to label this a little bit. You might notice that one side, the top and the bottom, one is a little thicker than the other. I want the thicker part on the top. So I'm going to take a pencil and I'm going to write a little arrow going up. And that will remind me which side is up. And I might actually even do that on the other side too, just in case sometimes when I pick it up, I have it turned over. This way I know either way. Okay, so the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna start by drawing our border on our main lesson book page. I'm gonna use orange because we talked about honey this week, and honey just makes me think of all the golden warm things. And so there'll be a lot of yellow, but I wanna use orange to kind of set that off. So I've got my sort of darker orange color here. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in my border. All right, now I can line this up inside that border. And I'm just gonna go ahead and line it up so that the top of this matches up with the top of my border. And then I want to make sure I have kind of an even amount on both sides. You might even actually be able to see, I can see a little bit of orange peeking through on this side. So I'm going to just go until I just cover up that orange. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to take my lemon yellow crayon, my stick crayon. Block crayons won't actually fit through here. I thought that they would, but they don't quite. So we're going to use a stick crayon, and you're just going to draw your line right in there, and this will act like your ruler. So you just hold that in place and draw your line. And we're not going to go all the way, okay? I noticed that we have our pages are a little off with right now. If I write on this page, I have this one over here too. And I like to be able to have like a writing on one side and the drawing that goes with it on the other side. So we're going to fix that today by doing our writing and drawing on the same page, because we only have a little bit of drawing to do. So we're going to set this up. I'm just going to line that back up the way I had it. Make sure my yellow lines are peeking through. And I'm gonna go, let's see, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's stop there. And we'll leave this space down here to draw a little picture. So now I need my writing pencil. I'm gonna check my pencil grip, make sure I've got a nice grip on that pencil, 3 fingers. And what did we talk about in that video? We talked a lot, about the honeycomb and how the bees build those honeycombs out of wax. And then they put the honey in there, and then they cap it off with a little bit more wax. So let's write about that. That's what I'm going to write about today. If there was something else that stood out to you that you'd rather write about, you could write about that. I'm going to write about the honeycombs. I'm going to write, bees build wax honeycombs to store their honey. So, what do I need to start with? I know, a capital letter, bees, B. Bees, ooh, there's that double E, bees, build, this is a funny word, B-U-I-L-D, bees build wax. Ooh, I want to write honeycombs. I don't know if I have enough room, but I've got so much space. It's a really long word. I think I'm gonna use what's called a hyphen to put half of my words on this line and half of my word on the next line. I'll write honey, and I'm gonna do a dash there. That tells me that this word's not done yet. Comb, C-O-M-B. That's kind of funny that there's a B at the end of that, but there is. It's just a quiet little B. So I have to be careful if I want to use a hyphen. I have to break this word up in a place where it really makes sense. So if I think about the syllables, that's a good way. Honeycomb, that I could have broken it up here, hun-e, there's another spot, comb. So I wouldn't want to break up comb since that's one syllable. I could have broken it up after the N or after the Y. It makes the most sense after the Y because this is a word that's made up of two words, a compound word, that I'm going to break it up in between the two words. So honeycomb. Bees build wax honeycomb. Oh, I think we're saying they build honeycombs, so I'm going to add an S to that. To store their, am I going to say T-H-E-I-R or am I going to say T-H-E-R-E or T-H-E-Y''R-E? It belongs to them, so I'm going to write T-H-E-I-R. Bees build wax honeycombs to store their honey. I think we need a little bit more on here. We've got lots of room to fit. Let's say when one chamber is filled, because remember those honeycombs, they're made up of all these little kind of rooms. We call them little chambers. So we can say when one chamber is full, they cap it with more wax. When one, that's a funny word. That's how you spell one. O-N-E. When one chamber, this looks a little small for chamber. I'm going to go over here. Chamber, okay, I started with a CH sound there, is full, they cap it with more wax. There, I've got a lot of writing on there. I had one more line to use. I'm not going to need that line, but that's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. That kind of helps set off my other area too. Okay, so now I want to draw a bee. How are we going to draw that bee? Let's start with a black crayon because the bees have, oops, I'm dropping my crayons over here out of sight. Looking for, okay, now I've got a black, a gold, and a lemon. I want to check these out and see how they're going to look. I'm just going to grab a piece of scratch paper here. This has some writing on it, but that's okay. And I'm going to think about it. I'm just going to do a little practice bee, just because I want to make sure I draw it right. I think they have a little black head, and then they've got this little, this part of it is called the thorax. It's kind of like their chest area. And then they have the big area it's stripy. I'm not going to draw the outline in black though. I'm going to build that up, and I think that this color, yeah, I think this color will be the best one. This is the golden. And I'm going to give him a nice round abdomen. So we have a head, a thorax, and an abdomen. And we don't need to worry too much about those words right now. I just want to throw them out there. So now that I've got that abdomen on there, I can come in and draw some little lines on it. And then we saw that little stinger in the video. Make sure we do that. And the bees also have, how many legs does a bee have? I think it has 6 legs because it's an insect. 1, 2, 3, and they're all coming out of that thorax. 4, 5, 6. Just like, this is kind of like the bee's lower body. We don't have arms coming out of our legs. So this is sort of like the leggy area. Our arms come more out of our chest area, just like that. So that's, we can draw a bee like that. We'll give him some little antenna. What else does a bee need? Probably needs some wings, huh? Maybe we could use some yellow and put in some wings. Bees have 2 little sets of wings on each side. So, okay, I think I like how that's going. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and draw that bee in here. Maybe I'll make him a little bit bigger. So I'll do my head, do my thorax, and I'm building that up. It's almost a little bit of a rounded kind of triangle shape here. And then I'm ready for my abdomen. And I liked this golden yellow for my abdomen. Boy, I don't know if you can hear the machines in the background of this video, but here at school right now, they are putting in a whole bunch of sinks in the gym so that when you guys come back to school, you won't have to go all the way to the bathroom to wash your hands. You can go to the sinks in the gym to wash your hands. So that'll be fun. But those guys are working today, so we can hear them. All right, I've got my head, my thorax, my abdomen. Get that little stinger on there. And if yours is a little rounded, you could even use the other side. Get a nice sharp stinger. All right, and then I can draw my little lines. I'm gonna draw those kind of lightly. And I might even just give that a tiny light little outline just so it shows up. All right, and then I need my little legs. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then we need our wings. And the wings are pretty see-through, so I'm not gonna color them in. I'm just gonna put them on here like that. Okay, now we're gonna draw, oops, I forgot my antenna. Put little antennae on here. Now we're gonna draw the honeycomb. And for the honeycomb, I'm gonna use an orange crayon. And I wanna practice this one first too, because honeycombs are kind of they're a very special shape. In fact, it is one of the best, most perfect shapes there is in nature. It's a 6-sided shape. And the best way to start with that is to draw 2 lines that are parallel. So like if they were to go on and on forever, they would never meet. They're 2 lines that are just side by side and parallel. Then we join them with a little point, and we can join them on the other side with a little point. That one turned out a little bit long. I don't love that, but that's okay, I'll keep going. Now the next step, once we've gotten this 6 sides, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm gonna draw a line coming straight up out of there. In fact, I could draw a line coming straight out of each one, but make sure that they are going out like rays of sunshine and not at strange angles. So then here, once I've gotten all those, then I can draw 2 more parallel lines. Oops, those weren't very parallel. More parallel lines. So these are parallel to each other. And you can see that my honeycomb is starting to take shape. Oops, I'm not doing parallel lines there. What did I do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3. There we go. So that's the other parallel. These are parallel. You see, the ones across from each other should be kind of parallel. It's kind of tricky to get it perfect. But we're not going to worry about being too perfect. We'll just get it how we can get it. All right. So now I'm going to draw the honeycomb, and when the bees are crawling around on that honeycomb, it's pretty big compared to them. They're pretty small little guys, so we're going to draw this pretty big. Let's start with, I think I'll start with a little triangle, a little point here. And that'll be our little starting point. And then from there, I'm going to draw one coming up. Okay. And then over here, I'll draw that parallel line. And then the other sides of it. Okay, so then over here, I want to make the other side of this V. Make this line parallel with that one. Now, this can be pretty tricky. I don't expect it to be perfect. Oh, I'm running out of room over there, so now I'm going to come down here. Don't expect perfection. I just want you to give it a try. So the next thing I do after I finish one is I draw that line coming off of it. And then I start drawing the little triangle. And let's see, we can imagine this was going to end there. That would end there. Oh, this is tricky. We'll just have to kind of use our imagination. I know I'm going to come here because that seems like it would be about there. So something kind of like that. And then from here, we can do some more. All these little chambers that are full of honey. There, so that gives us a good idea that there's honey in there. And then let's kind of fill that in. Actually, we could get a block crayon. I don't have a golden block crayon. I'm going to use this yellow, this golden yellow, and start to fill it in. There, and now you've got your drawing and your writing done all in one day because we just did kind of half of each. You know, it's a short week, so we'll squeeze it in as we can. So there's my finished picture for honeybees.